let's talk about the George Floyd situation. This is like really the easiest situation to fall down on the right side of. It's so simple. It's so simple, in fact, even Ben Shapiro got this one right. The situation of what the officers did is completely untenable. And I have yet to see any footage of George resisting arrest. And even if he was resisting arrest, once he's subdued, handcuffed on the ground, there's one of him, there's 4 officers. There's no longer a need to keep your knee pressed on the back of his neck up against the pavement on the ground, particularly when he's telling you he can't breathe. And since there was none yet that I've seen that he was acting in any kind of violent way, it makes even further no sense to continue to treat him that way and keep your knee pressed against his neck. Those officers should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. They should be judged by a jury of their peers. They should be, obviously we have video evidence of it, so we know where this is going to lead. That's how it should play out. Very simple. This is where some people, in particularly people on the left, lose their damn mind. Rioting and looting and burning businesses and stealing and hurting other people and tearing things apart, it doesn't help in the slightest bit. It doesn't help further your case about racism or police brutality. It doesn't honor George in any way. You're committing crimes. You're a criminal. You're hurting other people. You are doing nothing to help your cause. Zero. And this is what I mean when I say it's really such a simple scenario to fall down you on the right side of things here. It's so simple. The officers were wrong. He murdered him. They should be held accountable for their crimes. Riots and looting and burning down businesses is also wrong. It doesn't help. It doesn't solve anything. There's every time, when a situation like this happens, sometimes there's riots and there's looting, and then another situation happens in the future. So obviously it's not helping the cause. Okay? It hurts your cause. It hurts your argument. It turns the situation, it turns an awful situation worse. And from what I've seen so far, most of the Americans who have watched the footage and have seen the officer keep his knee on the back of George's neck for like over 7 minutes or something, most of everyone that I've come encounter with it's obvious that there was wrongdoing here. It's obvious that they shouldn't have treated him that way. It's obvious that they were wrong and they should be held accountable. There are going to be, bad apples and trolls and real racists who are defending the actions of the officer. Yes, that's going to happen. But that is a minority. That is not the majority of people who watch that video and, now and understand what went on and are saying the right things and are doing the right things in light of what they saw. Again, there's going to be bad apples. There always are. But if you're going to encounter those bad apples and you're going to paint with a broad brush about all police or about how, rioting helps, you're not helping your cause. It's not a good look. It's not a good argument. And I see that actually more than I see people defending whatever the cops did in that situation. I actually see more of people painting with a broad brush and saying, fuck the police and saying cops are bad and this and that and defending the rioting. I see more people doing that openly in public and on their social media platforms more than I see people defending the actions of the cops, which were completely reprehensible. But we also have to understand that painting the entire police force with a broad brush and, encouraging riots and encouraging looting and saying, that this is not, that bad, and any kind of way that you're going to be an apologist for that, we need to also stamp that out and understand that you should be shamed publicly for also saying those things and for also holding those opinions. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. What they did, what the officers did was wrong. It's reprehensible. It looks like it was murder to me. They should be held accountable. Also, don't riot and loot. It's really that simple. Like I said, it's so simple. Even Ben Shapiro got this one right. And, it's not going to end police brutality. It's not going to end racism. It's not going to end the fact that, when cops, sometimes when this stuff goes on, they get away with it and they're not held accountable. It's not going to end any of that. What's going to end that is changing people's minds, is, real activism, is getting the correct people in the political positions of power to make certain changes on the institutional level, getting out there and having discussions about this stuff and not painting with a broad brush in either direction. That's what's going to help solve the actual issues that would lead to this situation that we're in now. And it seems to happen all too often nowadays, and particularly because of probably cell phones, and everyone's got a camera, and people can now be caught in the act of doing something that they shouldn't be doing. But again, what's the way to solve it is not riots and looting and burning. It's through proper activism. It's through getting the correct people in political positions of power. It's changing certain rules and regulations and laws so that we can get institutional change. It's acting in good faith. It's having proper discussions and changing people's minds on the merits of your ideas.